Okay, so there are four basic systems of government, as we've discussed in class many, many times. There's the unitary, confederal, federal, and then parliamentary. Remember that with a unitary system, you've got one big national government that has all of the power. To visualize this, just think of that big circle with a national government, because all of the power resides in that one central bucket, the national government. We had experience with this in the United States prior to the American Revolution when we were part of the British Empire. A confederal system is essentially the opposite of a unitary system, wherein rather than having one big national government that controls and makes all policy, you have an extremely weak national government, and instead you have a bunch of state governments that are essentially like their own countries, where they run all of the policy, make all of the laws inside of that state. We had that experience as well during the Articles of Confederation, and we remember that the reason that we had that is because we kind of overreacted. We thought that, having a too strong national government, as we did during the, when we had a king prior to the American Revolution, we thought that that was the source of the problem. So the best way to limit the power of the government is to shrink it to the point where it is essentially useless. And we've gone over the weaknesses here. We decided to get rid of the Articles of Confederation. The national government was way too weak. We wanted one that was just right. And so that just right government is what we call a federal system, where we have a national government, very, very powerful national government, that also shares power with the state governments. There are things that the state government can only do, things like education, infrastructure within the state, public works and those sort of things within the state. State governments handle those sort of things. Other things that apply to the national level, including declaring war, foreign policy, treaties, currency, regulating interstate commerce. Of course, we know that there is a president, three branches of government, a president, a judiciary, and a legislative branch. So there's that shared power dynamic. You've got the national government and the state governments. Some things only the national government can do. Some things are reserved to the states, and some things they share, like the power to tax, make and enforce laws, etc. We have experience with that because that's, of course, what we have now. Lastly, the other system of government that we study is a parliamentary system, just like they have in England, just like they have in Jamaica. In a parliamentary system, citizens elect a legislative branch. That legislative branch is known as Parliament, and they elect that, and the Parliament, the legislative branch, makes the laws just like our Congress does. The difference, though, is that the legislative branch, the Parliament, selects the executive known as the Prime Minister. And we know that this is different than our system because we, in the United States, we elect our president. We elect the head of the executive branch. Whereas in a parliamentary system, the Parliament chooses the Prime Minister and can revoke the power from the Prime Minister, not just through impeachment like we have, where you can get rid of the president if the president were to be guilty of some sort of crime. In a parliamentary system, the Prime Minister must act in the way that the Parliament wants, otherwise they can be recalled. And that's what they have in England, and those are the four systems of government. We do not have a parliamentary system. We've never had that before. So the three systems of government that we've had in order is unitary, confederal, and federal. That doesn't look like federal at all. Unitary, confederal, and federal in that order, and we can remember that because I went to UCF. So unitary, confederal, federal, systems of government. National government is strong in a unitary, state governments are strong in a confederal, and a federal we have shared between the national and the state governments. Good luck.